Hi, we're at Connect.Tech, and I'm here with Jonathan Creamer from Eventbrite. He's wearing his Eventbrite shirt
Of
today.
course.
And so, Jonathan, I want to ask you a few quick questions about
Sure.
UI architecture because you kind of play that role at Eventbrite.
Yeah.
So, what is the UI architect?
Yeah. So to me, UI architecture is a lot of things. Obviously, um, I'm on what we call the front end infrastructure team at Eventbrite, and so we kind of like are the guys that and the team that builds the hammers for everyone else to go do the jobs of building the UI, and that can mean a ton of different things. We help maintain our internal style guide, which is called Eventbrite Design System. We do a lot of things around making sure that everybody's code gets tested, linted. We use, make sure that our ESLint rules are set up, make sure Jest is set up right, kind of staying on top of the trends in the industry and to make sure we're choosing the right libraries, making sure that everyone's on the same page. We try to maintain our coding standards through ESLint and all that, prettier. Now we're kind of moving in towards like TypeScript and trying to train and help teams understand that, but also just being available to the teams that are doing the work for everyone, for the actual builders of the UI. We're giving them the tools they need to give users a good experience, making sure everything's accessible, obviously, in the design system, the colors, everything, all that kind of stuff. And for us, even, we've actually gotten into the world where we're actually doing some like DevOpsy type things, or DivOps as we're kind of coining it.
Well, I'm
Uh,
sorry, what did you call it?
DivOps.
How do you spell that?
DIV
Oh,
ops.
DivOps. Okay.
DivOps, right?
Tell us more about DivOps.
Yeah, so what we're kind of coining that, and the reason we're doing that is because like it's obviously extraordinarily complicated these days. It's kind of our own fault as an industry, but you've got like Webpack and you've got Babel or you've got Parcel or you've got Rollup. You've got all these different ways to bundle up your JavaScript and CSS and JS or CSS modules, Post CSS, Sass Loader. So part of our job as the UI architecture team or the DevOps team is to help set up like CLIs or just basic tooling to allow the teams to kind of just roll and not worry so much about like which Babel plugin do I need to use and which Webpack loader do I need to use and try to keep those build times down. And we're actually even containerizing that stuff and running it in our CI environments for the teams with Jenkins,
Nice.
deploying to S3, doing all that kind of stuff, just to take the worry of teams away from all that because it's just too much. So yeah, our
Right.
team of 3 just works on making those things possible.
So it sounds like what you call DevOps is like your internal UI architecture team,
Yes.
actually. And what's interesting is you actually have a team of UI architects
Yes.
for all of Eventbrite.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
exactly.
said you have 3 people on that team.
Yep, we sure do. Yep,
Nice.
with 3 people. We've got about 100 maybe or so front-end engineers, which seems to be a pretty good number. I talked to some guys at Lyft, and they had about, I think, 5 on their team, and they've got an even bigger team than us, so it seems kind of a pretty good number. But yeah,
Okay.
that's basically what we do.
So like on your team of these 3 DevOps UI architects,
Yes.
do you guys do you specialize in something, and do the other people on your team, on your little DevOps team, like have specialties, or do you like split up the task kind of? I don't want to say equally, but like
Sure,
do you
sure.
wear do you all wear all the different hats all together, or do certain people wear certain hats? Like kind of explain
Yeah,
to me
that's a great
how
question.
you kind of split that up.
So I kind of do. I write a lot of TypeScript, so I'm kind of constantly writing a lot of the tooling with TypeScript and that kind of stuff. We've got one guy on the team is really good with Bash, and so he actually started teaching us how to write a lot of our front-end tooling stuff with just Bash scripts instead of
Bash scripts?
code. Yeah, with a lot
Oh,
of
you
Bash.
guys are cutting edge.
Yeah, so well, we have a big monorepo that we're working on, or mega repo we call it, not monorepo. And we have trying to put all our front end code in this one place, and that way we have our tooling right next to it. And so you have one set of build tooling that kind of works across all of the apps and packages, and that way facilitate teams creating small reusable components that they can use all over the site in different places. Whether it's like a big actual application, or it's like just smaller little pieces. That way you can kind of pick and choose what you need, and that your app kind of becomes, your application kind of becomes your style guide in that sense.
Right. Okay, cool. So, final question. Um, when you think of UI architects and kind of the position you play, say that you're a mid to senior level developer at a company, what are some of the skills aside from just straight software development,
Sure.
programming, let's say, that someone would need to work on and hone their skills on to move into this UI architect type role?
Yep. I think it's all a lot about identifying patterns and really liking to get down into the weeds and figure out kind of taking a holistic look at what your teams have built and extracting those into common things and having that desire to just build things that allow your other developers to do things. And I've seen we have a couple engineers that have been doing a lot of UI design, and then they found themselves repeating themselves all over again. It's like
Right,
what Kent
right.
talked about this morning is like the dry, you want to try to kind of componentize those things. And I think a lot of what UI architecture ends up being is identifying those places, those commonalities. So that's one area for sure.
Okay.
Or if you find yourself having a passion with like, the accessibility type world, and you want to do some training on allowing other people to not have to, just to make that easier for your teams. And, you want to help them do their work. And that's kind of where my team has fallen, where we just like helping the other people make things easier for them.
Nice. Well, thank you for your time, Jonathan.
Awesome.
And we hope to see you at UI ArcConf.
Of course, I'll be there.